Lesson 121. Our new word for this lesson is flumen. Fluminous is the genitive form. And this is a special noun because it's the first neuter noun of the third declension that you are learning about. Before we get into the neuter endings, I'd like to point out a difference between the nominative singular and genitive singular. Notice that in the nominative singular, you have the letter E there, F-L-U-M-E-N, but in the genitive, that letter becomes an I. You get F-L-U-M-I-N-I-S.
Right. Some of you may have noticed that this happens fairly frequently where E's and I's switch places in Latin. That's because they're such similar sounds. If you say it out loud, flumen, fluminous, there really isn't that much difference, is there?
No, it just rolls off the tongue.
So moving on to talk about the endings for the neuter nouns of the third declension bill, why don't you show our listeners how we apply those rules we reviewed in the last chapter?
Okay, first of all, we mentioned that in the nominative plural, a neuter noun, regardless of what declension it's from, will always end with the letter A. So examine the nominative plural form here of flumen, and you'll see it's circled in the chart. Flumina, not fluminace, like the other masculine and feminine nouns we've talked about. But this is neuter, so we have nominative singular, flumen, nominative plural, flumina. And then the other thing to talk about is the fact that the accusative forms are the same as the nominative forms. Remember a moment ago I mentioned that we have the letter E in the nominative singular. Well, since the accusative singular is the same, we're also going to have that E there in the accusative singular. And you can see that that particular form is circled in the chart. Also notice that flumina is accusative plural, which is exactly the same as the nominative plural. So two things to remember. The nominative plural will end in A, and the accusative forms will be the same as the nominative forms.